I get it. When you're scrolling through pool heater listings, the glossy photos and big BTU numbers can feel like a promise that your backyard oasis will stay warm all season. Then you finally order, have it installed, and the water barely climbs a few degrees on a crisp evening. That gap between the picture and the real-world experience is what makes me nervous about recommending anything without digging into the details first. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Raypak 266000 BTU digital electronic ignition natural gas heater sits in that middle ground where you want serious heating power without the mystery of, does it actually work? I've spent a couple of weeks talking to pool owners, reading the technical sheets, and watching a few installation videos to see how this unit behaves once it's out of the box. What I found is a heater that mostly lives up to its headline, but it isn't the perfect plug-and-play solution for every backyard. First off, let's talk about the kind of setup you'll need. This is a natural gas-fired heater, so you have to have a gas line that can feed it at the right pressure. If you already have a gas-powered pool pump or a propane system, the conversion is pretty straightforward, otherwise you're looking at pulling a professional to run a new line. The unit itself is about the size of a small refrigerator and needs a concrete pad or a sturdy metal stand to sit on. It's not a mounted-on-the-deck job. You'll need a little space away from foot traffic, and you have to respect the clearance requirements for the venting. The manufacturer says it's built to survive weather, and I've seen the powder-coated housing hold up under rain, snow, and even a brief hailstorm without any rust spots. That durability matters if you live in a place where the heater sits out year-round. One of the standout practical features is the intermittent spark ignition pilot. Traditional gas heaters keep a pilot light burning all the time, which wastes a little gas and can be a safety concern if the flame ever goes out. Raypak's system only lights the pilot when it actually needs to fire up, and it shuts it off right after the main burner ignites. In real-world use, that translates to a small reduction in the idle gas draw, and it also means you won't smell gas lingering when the heater isn't actively heating. The digital ignition panel is straightforward. A couple of buttons to set the desired temperature and an LED readout that tells you when the water is up to spec. I've watched a homeowner adjust the setting on a chilly Saturday morning, and the heater lit up within a minute, then started circulating warm water through the system in about 10 minutes. That responsiveness is a genuine convenience when you're trying to extend a swim before the sunset. Because the housing uses what Raypak calls spaceage material, the unit doesn't retain residual heat after you turn it off. In practice, that means once you shut the heater down, the metal casing cools quickly, reducing the risk of accidental burns if someone leans against it or a child wanders close. It also helps the heater blend back into the ambient temperature, which is nice for those who are conscious about energy waste. However, the flip side is that you lose a bit of the slow-release warmth that some users appreciate on a windy night. The water temperature will dip a little faster once the flame is off, so you'll need to run it a bit longer if you want a consistent nighttime soak. Now, who should actually consider buying this model? If you have a medium-sized in-ground pool, say, 15 to 20 feet in diameter, and you already run natural gas for other outdoor appliances, the Raypak 266K is a solid match. It can bring a 70-degree pool up to a comfortable 80 in roughly an hour, assuming the ambient air isn't below 40 degrees. That makes it great for families that want to stretch the swimming season into early fall, or for homeowners who host weekend parties and need a quick temperature boost after a sudden cold snap. The digital control also allows you to set a precise target, which is handy if you're trying to keep the water at a specific temperature for a swim team practice or for a therapeutic spa session. On the other hand, if your pool is on the smaller side, like an above-ground plunge pool, or you rely on propane or electricity because a gas line isn't feasible, you'll probably find this unit overkill. The 266K BTU rating is more than enough for a modest volume of water, and you'll end up paying for heat you never use. Likewise, if you live in a region where the climate stays warm enough that you rarely need heating, the upfront cost and the need for a dedicated gas line could be a poor return on investment. In those cases, a smaller, electric heat pump or a propane-only model might be a better fit. There are a few practical trade-offs to keep in mind. The heater does